When I was younger, I became aware that majority of people like myself, when I was young, are just working for survival. I just want to survive. I just want to make enough money to pay for my rent, to put food on the table, pay for electricity. I have no dreams at all. And then in that meeting, I learned that we have the capacity to dream. I remember reading from that book. If you have a dream, if you have a desire, it means you also have the capacity for its achievement. So for instance, if I was living at the time in an apartment and I started dreaming of maybe earning enough money so that I could buy a house, it means inside me also is that capacity to achieve it. So more and more I learned that I did not want to be part of the majority of people really who have no dreams at all. We just let life happen to us. They said there's this 5% or 3% or 1% out of every 100 people who is a person who is dreaming. Like this nation of ours or any other country, they were changed by people who knows how to dream. Like the scientists, the inventors. Like we look at Stevie Jobs, we look at Michael Dell. I read the story of Elon Musk recently. But even when I was younger, I have been reading so many biographies because I learned that if you read biographies of extraordinary people, you get to catch the way they think, the way they feel, the way they dream, the way they move forward in life. So that's what I wanted to be. And sure enough, after years of reading a lot of biographies where you learn their strategies, their techniques, what they do, I learned, for instance, that like we really cannot progress much if we only are working on a regular 9-to-5 job. The way, if you really want to advance, is have some kinds of business, be an entrepreneur. There is this guy, for instance, Robert Kiyosaki. He explains that in a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Okay. Now, again, from that apartment, that's where I learned how to do business. That's where I started dreaming. And today, this is where I live. I'm actually at this house right now. You see this area here. That's where I am. Okay, but it's evening, so it's dark here. And also, like Jim Rohn said, if you don't like where you are, move. You're not a tree. that got stuck to me when I was younger. So I'm here, but during the winter, it became so cold here. Right now, it's getting so cold. We have a boat out there that I can't even use. We have a garden here, but it's too cold to go out and do my gardening. So I have this house in Florida. When it gets really cold, I'm gonna move there, okay? So this is in Florida, but comes January, my wife and I usually, when winter comes, we go home to the Philippines also. So my wife and I built our home in the Philippines where we could go home every year around January, February, and it's there waiting for us every time we go home to Asia. From there, I go to Singapore, Malaysia, Hong Kong, and do our business from there. Now, I learned that success, we have to really take care of succeeding in all areas of our lives. We do not want to sacrifice other areas in pursuit of being successful in a particular area. For instance, I myself, I've been married to my wife for 45 years and we're happy. So I'm a family man, a husband, a father. At the same time, I'm a business person. So I do not let my pursuit of succeeding in business get on the way of being able to be a successful father, husband, having a successful, I would say, relationship with my family and people around me. Also, you have to succeed in taking care of your body. I walk around, exercise. I have like a little gym on my basement, okay? And also mental, emotional, spiritual. You don't want to fail in that area. Because what happens is, if you fail in one area, it affects the whole thing. It affects your business, it affects your body, it affects your family. You keep everything balanced. You want to be always balanced in pursuing success in all areas. Either you understand, you study, you are conscious of these success principles. And again, I learned that from watching videos, from reading books. I said today, everything is free on YouTube. I used to spend a lot of money learning all these things. Now, because if you don't, by default, follow the path of either what we call mediocrity or downward into failure principles by default. Now, success is not steps. I just did this PowerPoint earlier today, and I was thinking, is it success are not steps or success is not steps? It doesn't matter. You can succeed even if you don't know how to spell or you don't know your grammar. Success is not steps, because if say I can tell you that there are 5 steps to success, 5 steps to make a whole lot of money, 5 steps to success in business, everybody will be successful. Okay, but it's not steps. For instance, in our business, I always get this question, like, Romi, how do I succeed in our business like you? You know, and there's no one answer. It's not like if I tell you what I say to people, then you will succeed. You know, it's a whole combination of a whole lot of things. We call it, I learned this, success is a process. Okay, it's a process. For instance, it's like a process of turning a cucumber into pickles. Okay, now how's that? I can tell you the steps on how to make pickles. Like, you put this cucumber in the water with a solution of like salt and garlic and all these kind of spices, you know, and that's how you make a pickle. So if you do that, you do exactly as I say, you might come back to me the second day or the third day and say, wow, I did everything you told me and it's not pickled yet, you know. Because success is a process. Like, it takes a while, it takes a long time for you to become a pickle. Sometimes I would say it took me 20 years to become an overnight success in my business. Because what happened was, in my first 20 years of doing business, I've been into different businesses. It took me 20 years of trial and error. Like, I would build the business, it will fall apart, build it again, it will fall apart. On the 20th year, I found the right business, and on the last 17 years now, that's where I experienced this overwhelming, beautiful success in business. But it took me 20 years to find the right business, you know. So the same thing, like as I was saying, it's a process. There's a time for waiting. And many people, I would say, do not really reach that success because they give up along the way. You cannot give up in pursuing what you want to accomplish in life. You gotta give it time.